Inside the NBA, your bi-weekly window into what's happening at the NBA.
Well, welcome, Carli. I am so excited to welcome another Jersey girl to be part of our mPower series. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I really, your book was inspiring, and one of the things that struck me is here, you were this world champion, Olympian, FIFA Player of the Year, yet you talk about having setbacks and things being difficult. Can you tell us a little bit about how you break through them?
You know, my career has been littered with obstacles, struggles. I think, everyone sees all the glorious moments. They see the championships and the goals and all the awards and all that. But I think what I'm most happy for getting through my career is all of the struggles that I've had to get through, whether that's injuries, whether that's being benched, whether it's doubters out there, whether it's missing a PK in a World Cup final in 2011. I've just used all of that as fuel and motivation. I think that, you can look at it as failure, but you can also look at it as an opportunity to have failure propel you forward. And so I've just tried to take every obstacle that's come my way and turn it into a positive. And I think if you're embracing a difficult moment and trying to be positive, you usually end up becoming a lot more stronger in the end. And so that's really what I've tried to do, is just keep getting better every single day and know that even though you're on top of the mountain at one point, you're going to come quickly crashing down at some point and then have to, make your way back up. So it's, it's just about embracing that and being okay with failing and propelling forward to be better.
Not being afraid to fail. You need to try and you need to keep pushing yourself. Were you always that way? Did that always come from inside, or was there a moment where you realized, this is what I'm going to do? I'm just not going to let it distract me or get me down.
I think every situation is a little bit different. There's been more challenging moments than others. I think I've had to learn and grow with each particular moment. With that, you become more mature as you age, and I think at the age of 37 now versus when I started around 24, I deal with certain situations a lot different, and I expend my mental energy a lot different as well. I think I have a better balance and a better sense and gauge on life and how you need to respond to different things. But ultimately, it's not easy. I've had, this past World Cup was a very, very challenging time for me. I thought that I could have played more minutes, but I did everything possible to help my team, and that was going out and being the best that I could be. Super happy that we brought home another World Cup trophy, but it's just about how you deal with those obstacles. But those are all part of life, and you have to embrace them and not be afraid to make mistakes and not be afraid to fail, because that's actually when you do the most growing.
Well, and I think it really speaks to character that while you said, I wish I played more minutes, but I went out there and I did the best job I could do for my team. And that's really inner strength and standing strong. And I know a lot of athletes talk about having breakthrough moments. What was your breakthrough moment? Can you describe it?
I would say that I had a couple. I would say 2012 Olympics, I was benched right before. I had been starting probably 95% of the games. And I was benched right before, and I remember going in and feeling absolutely devastated. I felt like my life was over, my career was over. And I had about 10 days to train before I went over to London. I spent every day training, double days, up to 6 hours at a time. I'd go in the morning, I'd come back at night. And I knew that I just had to work as hard as I could because I had to be ready at any moment. And my moment came in the first game against France. We were losing 2-0. 16 minutes in, one of my teammates got hurt, and I was called upon. So if I didn't prepare my mind and prepare myself to be ready for that moment, I could have went in there and not done well. But I went in there, I proved that I belonged, I proved that I could help the team, and I never left the field ever after that point. So for me, that was more of a breakthrough moment in knowing that I could go on to become one of the top players in the world, and I think that gave me a lot more belief in myself. And so that propelled me on to 2015 World Cup of, being able to help my teammates win a World Cup, and it's just really helped propel my career throughout my journey.
And with each one, the nation watched, and you and your teammates just really electrified this nation, and that is something that not a lot of people get to do. And I am honored to be sitting next to you and talking about how you find that inner strength. And I'm going to ask you a question that I always want to know. So when you go out there and you're the one who needs to kick that penalty, what goes on in your head? Like, we're all holding our breath, okay? We can't imagine being in that position. And what goes on in your head to block out the nerves and everything to do that, to make a penalty shot like that?
It's preparation. I actually love pressure. I love thriving under pressure moments. I think there's some players who crumble under pressure, and there's some players and people that really love the pressure, invite the pressure, and I'm one of those players. I've always been like that. But I think my preparation, my mental prep, visualizing and making sure I'm ready, and the physical prep as well, it goes hand in hand. So it's definitely a moment where everybody else watching is nervous, and I get that, but you just zone everything out. I remember in 2011 World Cup final, I missed a PK. And from that point on, I said to myself, I'm not going to let that moment define who I am. When I have the opportunity to hit another PK in a major tournament, I'm not going to miss. And so it just it trained my mind to believe that I go back, I practice PKs, I get ready for it. And I think, again, you're learning from mistakes that essentially propel you forward. So when I have to step up and everything's on the line, I'm okay with it, and I embrace it, and it makes it more fun.
And I know we watched the video when you did when you were kicking for the Eagles, and one thing that trying to kick a field goal is hard enough, but one thing people didn't say, and I did fact check this, in practice, which is where you were, it's a smaller, right?
Mm-hmm.
The goalposts aren't regulation size, they make it smaller, I guess, so that
it was.
And you were nailing each
Mm-hmm.
one, so I think you are,
Regulation I think is 18 feet, and those were 9 feet. So.
And why aren't they? I'm just saying they should have been talking about not only did you make it, you made it in a much smaller target. So kudos to you. I have one final question, and it's something that in our Women's Network and mPower, we were really trying to move the needle on gender equality and pay equity in the workplace. And I know you and your teammates are doing a lot of work and speaking out a lot on that same topic. Can you talk a little bit about what you're doing and the progress you're making?
Yeah, it's been quite a fight. I think throughout the years, we've had former players prior to us trying to make things better. We've obviously, when I first came onto the team in 2005, there were no contracts, there were no salaries. So the players before me fought for that. They fought for health benefits, they fought for pregnancy leave. All of those things were in place. And now I think we're kind of reaching a crossroads a little bit. And I think it's no longer that we just have to accept and be happy for what we're getting. I think we need to push for what we deserve. And that's exactly what we're doing. We have been successful. We've proven it time and time again on the field.
Yes, you have.
And it's about just trying to keep making it better. And I think the conversation as a whole throughout the world with women, it's really awesome. It's, we're all embracing one another. We're all backing one another. And I think it's the only way to propel forward. And that's what we're doing. And it's going to be a tough fight and challenging fight, but we're up for it, and hopefully we can make it better.
Well, we are all behind you and cheering you on, not only on the field, but in this fight for pay equity. And I can't thank you enough for being here and spending your time with us and sharing such great words of inspiration.
Thank you so much. Great to be here.